For my video discussion, I chose the history of the USS Nautilus, the first nuclear submarine. The USS Nautilus was commissioned on the 30th of September 1954 in Groton, Connecticut. The construction of the Nautilus was the world's first nuclear-powered submarine. It was a one-of-a-kind in the world, and it was the first of its class. The USS Nautilus was actually one of the first submarines I personally got to tour. I have been on 3 submarines now, including the USS Pennsylvania, which was my husband's boat when he was stationed in Washington, in Bangor on an active sub. This was the U.S. Navy's first submarine to break records and go as far and fast as any other previous sub in the fleet at the time, as well as the length of submersion before needing to go to surface. The first stretch after commissioning was 89 hours submerged, which was unheard of. It was about 3 days. After commissioning, commissioning is a huge tradition in the subworld. It is a tradition where someone of historic stature, or someone that's meaningful to the sub or the Navy in general, there's a whole ceremony where they break a champagne bottle on the boat's bow. And I actually got to go to the USS Oregon's commissioning because one of my husband's friends was PCU'd on that boat. It's quite an honor, and it's a huge tradition for the Navy. The USS Nautilus first commissioning was the First Lady, Mamie Eisenhower. Got the privilege to christen the USS Nautilus, which is a tradition breaking a champagne bottle over the boat's bow, on 17th of January 1955. That was their first underway on nuclear power. And that mission lasted 1,381 nautical miles and 89.8 hours before needing to surface again, which was a pretty big deal back then. On August 19th, Nautilus departed New London, which is Groton, Connecticut, for her first voyage under the Arctic polar ice pack. The 1,383-mile journey was significant because the U.S. previous submarines did not travel to the frozen northern oceans due to diesel-electric boats could not travel freely under the ice, which means that because of the nuclear power, they had the opportunity to allow them to go under the ice fully, which is pretty cool because when they break the ice with the nuclear submarines and they come and surface and break the ice, it's like a huge deal to submariners. Opening up the Arctic to the Navy submarines allowed access to previously protected waters of the Soviet Union. From the Arctic, Nautilus set sail for the Eastern Atlantic to participate in NATO exercises off Norway and to visit various British and French ports. On June 9th, Nautilus departed Seattle to conduct the highly secret Operation Sunshine, a fully submerged transit under the North Pole. However, the first attempt was blocked by drift ice in relatively shallow waters off of the Chukchi Sea, and the submarine returned to Pearl Harbor. Her second attempt began on the 23rd of July, proved successful. Nautilus submerged in the Barrow Sea on August 1st and was in the North Pole by August 3rd. after running submerged an additional 96 hours, surfaced off Greenland on August 7th. This groundbreaking submarine decommissioned on March 3rd of 1980, and is now a official submarine force museum, which you can go and tour in New London, Connecticut. And it is a dramatic just significance to the nuclear power that we have today.